What's up, everybody? This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603, and you're about to go on a journey with me and my boy Footloose, and he's gonna tell you a crazy, wild story. But before we get into that, I just want to say thanks again to Kyle Garvey at Granite State Cutouts for this beautiful, amazing Spider-Man granite New Hampshire piece. Look at this. I'm trying to get that right in there and get the glare off it. Look at how beautiful that thing is. He does these stone cutouts at all different types of granite, different sizes. He's got not only New Hampshire, but he's also got Old Man in the Mountain ones. And they install these, whether it's in countertops or walkways or any sort of stone decorative stuff that you want to do. They're beautiful. And it's a local business right here in the Concord, New Hampshire area. So you can find them at Granite State Cutouts on Facebook. And I think it's Granite State Cutouts at gmail.com. And yep, I got that right. Would you look at that? Check them out, man. Thanks so much. What's up, everybody? This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603, and I'm here with my boy Footloose. And he's got a pretty amazing story to tell you. He spent 5 years in solitary confinement in New Hampshire State prisons. It's pretty wild. So I'm gonna let you take it away, my man. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. So, how should we start?
All right. So, New Hampshire State Penitentiary. You were there for drug-related things, and they put you in a. How big was this cell?
They're about 10 by 14, maybe.
All by yourself?
Something like that. Yeah, all by myself. Well, I did a year and 9 months straight in punitive segregation.
Okay.
So in the hole.
Right.
And I was pre-trial.
Wow.
So I was a county inmate, and they sent me up there pre-trial.
Before you had been convicted of anything.
Right.
Wow.
So, yeah, on nonviolent drug charges.
Right.
And yeah, the first day that I got there, the Merrimack County Jail, when they did the transfer order, because I popped a bunch of sprinklers, right? That's a whole other story. But I popped a bunch of sprinklers, right? So they end up putting in a transfer. It took like 3 days, and they shipped me to the prison pretrial. And when we get there, there's all these. They bring me through the SHU special housing unit entrance on the side, and all these dudes all suited up, ready to go.
Like
come
SWAT, like full SWAT gear, like
yeah, they're ready, ready to extract somebody or something.
like
so
you're some sort of terrorist.
Yeah, so they told the sheriff. They said, "Oh, we were told there's a highly assaultive transfer," and the sheriff's like, "No, this guy, this is the transfer." They're like, "Yeah, we were told he's highly assaultive towards staff." And he goes, "No, I've never had a problem with this guy. I've transported him a bunch of times as the sheriff, right?"
Yep.
And so I find out later that on the paperwork it said that I was highly assaultive towards staff, which never happened. Never assaulted anybody. So they're going to try to bring me straight through SHU that way. And this one officer says, he's up in the crow's nest. I forget the guy's name, but he says, no, he's got to go through booking just like anybody else. So he was holding them accountable, right? And they're like bitching back and forth. Anyways, they end up bringing me over to booking, and I got all my property and stuff. I'm in the cell and booking, and I had this piece of string tied on my finger, right? Because I've had trauma, and I was having memory problems, and I wrote a lot of notes and things like that. So I had a piece of string to remind me to check my notes. And anyways, this officer says, "What's that on your finger?" I said, "It's just a piece of string." He says, "Oh, give it to me." And I said, "I'll just put it in this a card, one of my cards that's in all my property. They're gonna have to search the shit anyways, right?" I said, "I'll put it in here. You guys, when you search my shit, whatever, do whatever with it, right? You know what I mean?"
Yep.
So I can get it back later. And he goes, "No, you're gonna give it to me now. This ain't the county jail. We tell you what to do here, and you listen."
Oh, man.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I put it back on.
Fuck you.
And I was like, fuck you, come get it.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? I said, fuck you, come get it.
Yep.
So he leaves, goes around the corner, he comes back, and then he's got these gloves that he's putting on, and they're like, got the carbon fiber knuckle plates.
I knew that's what you're going to say, yeah.
So he's putting these things on, and I'm like, oh man, those look like they're going to hurt.
Yeah.
And so they open the cell, come in there. I just kind of turtle up and dove down on it.
Yep.
And then they cuff me up. And then they bring me to North Tank, which is a bigger room with no cameras or anything like that. Now there's like 10 to 15 guards, right? And they uncuff me, have me put my hands up, and they say, give me the string. I said, fuck you, come get it. I did the same thing. I dived down on it, right?
My man.
This fucking dude jumps on me like George Floyd with his knee on my neck.
Yeah.
And he starts hammering me in the ribs, right? They empty a whole can of fucking pepper spray in my face.
Yeah.
He's like, spray him. I just went.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
The whole can all over my face, right? They got my arm behind my back. Long story short, they're like wiggling this thing off my finger, and I'm like, all right, whatever. They're going to get it. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to say you win, and they're going to stop. And so I go, you win. And I open my hand up. He pulls the ring off, and he grabs my thumb and fucking snaps it. Yeah, hyperextends it back. It didn't break, but snapped it right back, straight back out of the pocket. What? Oh my God. Yeah.
Holy
so
fuck,
I stand
dude.
up. Now I'm cuffed, soaked with OC spray.
Yeah.
And I shook my head like a dog. All of them. They're all standing around looking, and they all got in the face. So yeah, they were too happy about that.
Good
so they
for
left
you.
me. Yeah, they left me in a cell with a sheet in November. I didn't have a blanket for like over a month. And this sheet, they all cleaned off their hands with the OC spray that had, that I kind of sprayed on them, back on them. They all cleaned themselves off with it. And so I just sleep with that.
What?
Yeah. No decontamination or anything like that. So that was my first day at the prison. I had already done 6 years before in population and whatever. But that was for the felon in possession of a firearm, completely separate thing. I got out for a brief period and went back on these drug charges, right? So, yeah, that was that, and then that ended up getting me put in the hole, punitive segregation for 55 days, something like that, with all these different. Because they kicked the shit out of me for this piece of string. Right. I got all these different write-ups and stuff, right? I got all kinds of trouble for that. So that got me 55 days in the hole. And so I'm in the hole, and then they do this standing count every day to just make sure you're alive. I mean, you're in there by yourself. So if you're waving or you go to most of the cops, they let you put your foot down on the ground because you're usually sleeping in there. You know what I mean? First thing in the morning they come. Stand and count. If you want to get a shower or use the phone, you can't use the phone in the hole, right? But you could go to a day room with no phone when you're in the hole. And you can't go out into one of the dog cages. We call them the dog cages. Yeah. When you are in the hole either, right? You're just stuck in the hole. 24-hour lights.
Wow. They don't shut the lights off?
24-hour lights. They dim at night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucked, dude.
So yeah, I did that for a year and 9 months. So what happened was, like, how'd you stay in the hole for so long? So this one cop, you always get that one that is a hard ass.
Oh,
and
he's got to show you he's the one in charge.
Yeah. So he's like, stand and count. And I'm like, oh, wait. And he's like, you got to stand. And then you go to stand, and he starts walking away. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? Just being a dick.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not standing for that dude ever again. So I never stood. So I said, no, I'm not standing. So he starts writing me up, right? Now, it was a B ticket, and then once you get like 2 or 3 B tickets, it turns into an A ticket. Long story short, I ended up getting like 36 B and A tickets, and an A ticket is 15 days maximum in the hole. So I was refusing to go out and do any of the hearings or any of that shit. I was just like, nope,
Not going to participate in your fucking bullshit.
And they're hitting me with the maximum 20 days imposed hold time a week, 4 days a week when this dude was working. Wow. So I'm getting 80 days a week on top of my sentence.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I had like over 2 years to do in the hole. So I did the longest consecutive hole sentence in the history of the state prison.
Now, wasn't there something to do with you not wanting to shave your beard, and it become like, wasn't that a big part of?
So yeah, that came afterwards. So the whole time I'm allowed to grow my beard in solitary confinement and in maximum security. I end up getting out after a year and 9 months. I end up getting convicted on this the drug bail jumping charge, whatever, and so they end up releasing me, giving me a time cut. So they actually asked me to come down. I talked to the captain. He calls me down to his office, and he's like, the warden said, if you write a request slip that meritorious behavior, we're going to cut your time. He'll cut your time and let you out of the hole early. And I was like, I can't do that because my behavior hasn't changed. The only thing that changed was the officers. Like, there's all kinds of incidents in between with
Sure.
me getting distracted and tasered and like jamming my doors and barricading. There's like a lot of stuff in between there. That whole year and 9 months in the hole was pretty wild.
Yeah.
So, once I got out of there and everything had calmed down, I wasn't getting harassed by the cops. You're like a bug in a box, and they want to shake you, kick your door, and just mess with you for no reason.
Yep.
Whenever you go out to do something, you go to court, they come in and they trash your shit for no reason. You know what I mean? Just leave it at that. So
bullies.
Yeah. Not all of them, but most. There's a good. It only takes a few to ruin it.
Yep.
So I actually had a lot of guards on my side helping me out, and I had one guy who was a higher up supervisor. He got removed from the unit. He got removed from SHU during this whole thing, this war in the hole that I was going through. He got removed during all that because we were too friendly, supposedly.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are good, it's people, because there's bad inmates. There's bad inmates. There's bad cops. There's just people. There's good people. There's bad people.
Sure.
Like how I like to look at it.
Yep.
And because people help good people.
Yeah. No doubt.
And watch out for So, anyways, So everything was cool. There was no issues.
You were growing your beard out.
Growing my beard out, and then they're like, oh, like it was right after. It was like 2 weeks after they let me out of the hole. The warden decided to do it. I wouldn't put in a request slip, but he let me out early anyways. For excessive time. You know what I mean? It was just excessive time that they gave me. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I get out and they're like, oh, you go to CCU. It's from C5 to C4 housing, right? And they're saying, oh, you're going to have to shave. I said, it's against my religion. I'm not going to shave. I had a shaving past before. I'm a Taoist. I was Taoist in the computer the whole time. Oh, it's got to be certain. I said, I'm not doing none of that length shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm not playing that.
Right.
So they were like, well, you have to. I said, I don't have to.
Yeah.
I said, you're going to have to do what you got to do, whatever. So the next day they bring me to CCU and they're like, oh, everybody shave. And I was like, before they even uncuffed me, I'm like, I'm not going to be shaving. And they're like, yes, you are. He says, this is my unit and I control my unit. I said, this is my face. I control my face.
My body, my choice.
Yeah. He's like, oh, he uncuffs me anyways. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm not. I already told them last night that I wasn't going to be shaving. So what? He's like, oh, I'm going to send you back to SHU PC. I said, listen, do whatever you get. So all these dudes are now looking at me like, oh, PC, you hear PC, your ears perk up, right? He's trying to set me up. They're trying to set me up. I'm like, come on, man, do whatever you got to do. Send me back to SHU, however you got to send me back to SHU.
Yeah.
I got no control over that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he gets a piece of paper and he's like, here, you're going to sign this and tell me why you want a PC. And I fucking put it out in front of me and I tear it in half. And then they grab me and fucking throw me up against this pole and handcuff me, smash my fucking head, right? And then they bring me over to Cell Tank that time, right? They bring me to Cell Tank, they leave me there, and they keep coming back and trying to see, why are you going to, oh, you got to shave, why aren't you doing it? Oh, no, we're just going to send you back to SHU. I said, do what you got to do, you know?
Yep.
So they end up sending me back to SHU, and I stayed there for 2.5 years from that point. And I eventually filed my lawsuit and won that in federal court.
Really?
Right?
So you sued this? So you sued the state and you won because of the way that they treated you?
So they denied my parole, right?
Yep.
And they were denying me. I was a C4 inmate still, and they were denying me population, right? I think
Sure.
I actually got C3 in SHU very briefly, and then they offered for me to go to Self. They granted me parole to this consecutive sentence,
Okay.
right? And they were like, "Oh, but we're not going to grant you full parole." And then I got back from that hearing to the SHU, and the lieutenant sits me down, and he's like, "Hey, sit down." I'm like, "What's up?" And he goes, "So, do you want to go to South?" And I'm like, "That's like the easiest prison. They have like a band and cookouts all the time and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like practically minimum security." So I'm like, "Can I bring my beard?" And he goes, "Oh, well, yeah, you got to kind of trim it a little bit to like a 1/2 inch or something." And I said, "I'm pretty sure the policy says 1/4 inch." He says, "Oh, well, I don't know." And I said, "No, I can't. I'm not going to do that." And he's like, "All right, well, we're not going to bother you. We're not going to harass you. We're just going to leave you here until you decide to shave." I said, "Whatever, man." So they bring me back to my cell. They put me in my cell. He comes back like an hour or two later, and he opens up my tray saw. He's like, "Come here. Come talk to me." He's like, "I know we told you we weren't going to bother you or harass you, but
here we are bothering and harassing you."
Here I am. Kim Lacasse, the head of classifications, says to leave you on the move list and ask you to move again tomorrow. And if you don't move and don't shave, then we're going to write you up and we're going to take your C3 for that. And then she's going to try to ship you out of state and all this. And I said, "Whatever."
Ship you out of state?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to shave your fucking beard, bro.
Basically, yeah. So that never came. They did come the next day, and they're like, "Come, you got to shave and move and blah blah blah." And I said, "Nope, it's against my religion." So they wrote me up and put all that in there, which is all part of the lawsuit. You know what I mean? That was all part of the lawsuit.
Yep.
And so I did, a lot of gathering of the evidence with the grievance procedure and doing all that stuff properly. But what was happening, so they denied. So when I went to parole too, they're like, "Oh, what's your religion? When did you convert? How long have you been practicing?" And none of that has anything to do with the parameters for them to grant or deny parole.
Yep.
So that's all they ask. They're like, "You have to shave. It doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah." So we have the audio recording and all that. And anyways, yeah, I represented myself, filed a freaking pro se injunction in New Hampshire District Federal Court, and 42 section 1983 injunction, 2-day hearing. So I had the warden. The only person I didn't get there was the commissioner.
Wow. And you won. And you won the lawsuit without a lawyer.
I won my release. Yep.
Good for you.
I won the injunction. So
but you didn't get, obviously, you didn't get any damages or any sort of admission of guilt or any of that.
No.
Just we're gonna let you go after fucking with you for 5 fucking years.
Basically, so what happened is they heard sections of the lawsuit that related to my actual liberty being violated, like actively violated, right? So it was an emergency hearing and all that stuff. It was an emergency lawsuit, right?
Yep.
And so they only heard certain aspects of the whole lawsuit, like the whole damages thing was for maybe, a later time or whatever. And so I did get pro bono counsel after I won that.
Yep.
The judge was like, "Oh, did you file a motion for counsel?" And I was like, "Yeah, a couple times already." And she said, "Oh, what happened?" And I said, "Oh, it was denied, but they said if anything changed, we could file again." She said, "You might want to file again." So I was like, I know how to take a fucking hint, right?
Yeah,
So I file again, and she grants the motion for pro bono counsel, and then they searched for pro bono counsel for damages. But they ordered, so they had already ordered, after me winning the lawsuit, they ordered the prison to let me out into population with my beard and let me parole with my beard. And I didn't get out into population because they were like, "It's still a security issue. We're fighting that. We're appealing that. And we're holding him there regardless until we're told not to," basically, by a higher court. So, yeah.
How is this a security issue?
Could other people hide their contraband in my beard, or stuff could be hidden in my beard? Like, it's any different than head hair?
Right.
So that was my argument. They allow unlimited head hair.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Unlimited head hair.
Wow.
And it's no different.
Yeah, it's no different at all.
So it's on the edge of your face. You can still recognize people. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're free and you're not dealing with that bullshit anymore.
Yeah, thanks. Oh.
So let's talk about what you're doing now, my man, because I got to tell you, it's a noble cause, and I'm inspired. I haven't made it out there yet, but I've been working and stuff, but it's gonna happen. So, tell us.
Yeah. So lately, well, it's like the macrocosm of that microcosm we were just talking about. It's out here. It's happening out here now.
Right.
Like they brought this prison structure out here to people to just control our behavior, tell us when we can have movements and shit like that. Like it's crazy. So right now we've been protesting at the governor's house. Organizing those. We gained some good press. Yep, I know. And people are like, oh, that's not cool to protest at the governor's house, his family and all this. Well, the first governor of New Hampshire was run out of here because they showed up on his front lawn and pointed a cannon at the house.
Wentworth.
And he's down. So that's a nice little bit of New Hampshire history.
That's right. There. Article 10, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Article 10 of the New Hampshire Constitution.
Yeah. And yeah, Article 10, like the rights of revolution, it doesn't even have to be violent revolution. No? It just has to be, we're saying enough is enough. And that's what we're doing right now. We're activating Article 10 basically, Absolutely, we're not calling for violence or anything like that.
No.
But you just put your foot down and nullify it on the spot.
Yep.
If it's not constitutional, it's nullified on the spot as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Absolutely. I could not agree more. So what's do you want to give out the page that people can find you on?
So Absolute Defiance. You can message us for the link to the Telegram. We're on Facebook. I can give you the link. Maybe you could share it or something. But we got a Telegram. We got a Telegram channel. We got a Telegram chat. And we got the YouTube, and we got the Facebook page and group, Absolute Defiance. And Absolute Defiance Community is the group. We're being shadow banned heavily. It says it right up there. It's like, fake news and whatever.
News. Yeah, I got banged with one of those too.
And so we put up the first couple events that we put up about the governor's house, they got taken down within 24 hours.
Yep.
Right? The first one, we had over 200 people, and over 100 people showed up,
I saw the cars lining the street from the live video, dude. It was so dope, and I was like, I can't be there.
Yeah. So it was a good one, and we've been getting good press. Everything's been good. Some people have different viewpoints on things, but it's like we need to keep focus on the Constitution. If you don't believe in the Constitution, then like, what do you believe in? What are your values that are driving you forward? And you know what I mean? Like, how do people hold other people and themselves accountable if they don't have a system of values, which is what the Constitution is? Because that's what our Constitution. That's what Constitution means, is what you're made of. Right?
Exactly.
And that's what this document is supposed to represent, is what each person is made of, and we're supposed to live it and hold other people accountable to it.
Yep.
You know?
So I've been thinking, right? And like I mentioned on your page recently about doing a Christmas party, and then, you know, everybody, there was such a huge thing for that, but like I started thinking about it, and the time of year is a little rough, so then I started thinking, let's either do like New Year's Eve party, or now that the governor of, or the mayor of Nashua is trying to impose a curfew, I say let's just go have a party in the streets after the curfew. Just, if we can get 1,000 people to just go walk down Main Street in Nashua and say fuck you, like, what are you gonna do? Call the National Guard and arrest everybody and fucking fine us? Suck my fucking dick.
Let's do it. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So we'll plan something, but I'm gonna share this video. I'm gonna get some you know, I'll put some feelers out there and see what. I'd also like to protect a business. I got a lot of buddies who would be very willing to stand out front of any business as security and only let in people who are actively trying to, you know, use their business and their product, or if it's somebody who wants to cause trouble, like the road pirates, well, if you don't have a warrant, you can't come in. And if you have a warrant, you can hand it to me as the representative of the business, and you can be on your way.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we're working on, is a petition with all the business owners, and getting these business owners on a list that we can support them, and they can all know who is on this list, and you know, actively defy this order. You know what I mean? It's all legal. He's gearing up. This guy's gearing up for a mandatory vaccine.
I understand completely.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen that Order 76 there, but
no.
Yeah, Order 76. There's no opt-out on the registry, so they'll come and try to get you, or try to, you know, and they'll say whether you denied or refused. And yeah. So,
dude, I saw this. I was calling this almost a year ago. Not only that, they're gonna tie it to your passport, your driver's license, any other licenses or official, like, you know, positions that you hold. You're not going to be able to move. And then once they do away with money because of this fucking coin shortage, now pause for a second. A coin shortage. Our money has no value. They print paper money like it's going out of style, even though there's nothing backing it. But they can't do the same thing with coins. There's a coin shortage. No, they're going to fucking push us to the digital currency, and then our social credit score is going to be tied to our bank accounts. And guys like you and me who speak out and fucking and do activist shit, or say, I'm not going to follow your rules, I'm not going to wear your stupid fucking face diaper, they'll shut your bank account off. Yeah, that's why they want to do away with money.
They'll lock you out of the system.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. It's coming, man. I've been calling it. It's fucking scary, dude. So I don't know where we go from here. We'll see what happens when this election shit finally shakes itself out. But I think the next few days are going to be, we're going to witness history. I really do believe that.
I mean, I see people saying that they won't accept the vaccine, this and that, but like, it's a tiptoe totalitarianism thing. They're moving slowly forward with all this stuff. Like, if you don't want to, if you're not, you got to show up, and, you know, not just be on Facebook. Facebook is a tool, and all these social media things are a great tool and all that, but everybody's got to show up.
Boots on the ground.
Speak with your feet.
Yep.
You know,
I agree with that.
Otherwise, 100%. It's gonna just be, it's gonna get real bad and ugly.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate everything that you're doing out there, man, and I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna join you. So,
word.
One more time, give us Absolute Defiance everywhere. There's no different anywhere.
Defiance, yeah, and you can check out. We do have a website. It's brand new, so there's not that much on there, but we will have the events and everything. It is absolutedefiance.org. Community is the website, and you can sign up there and get on the email list and all of that.
Perfect.
But yeah.
Awesome. Well, dude, I appreciate you being here with me. Your story fascinates me, and I can't wait to meet you again and see you again. We actually met at a gun rally on the State House lawn. So Frank was taking pictures of me and my boy Harry. So you know, we're cut from the same cloth. So I appreciate all that you do, brother.
All right, bro.
I'll see you out there soon.
Thanks for having me. See you
later, bro.